Western Alliance for you. I've been getting a lot of questions on this specific high yield savings account, and you will not believe what I found. Is this the best bank account of 2024? Is the interest enticing enough to move your business to this bank? We're gonna explore all of that, the best features, the pros, the cons, and at the end of the day, my hope with this video is to help you make the best decision for yourself. And of course, I'm going to be making this video as somebody who has been using high yield savings accounts, also based on a lot of research, observations, insight, and also my engineering background has helped me identify requirements or targets on what to look for. What are the most important things to pay attention to in a high yield savings account? So here are the requirements. We're not going to mention every single one of these. These are the things that we're going to go over in today's video. And if you are new to the channel, by the way, my name is Alex, and here I share content to help you make better decisions in your finances, in your online business, in your career. And if you enjoyed this video, by the way, I would appreciate it if you give it a like, consider subscribing to the channel, and check the links in the description for a few goodies that you did not know you needed. And lastly, I want to mention here that if you are someone that is in debt, you're struggling to get out of it, I am developing a 100% free course. And if you are interested in learning more about this, I'm going to leave a link to that in the description so you can sign up for the form and I will let you know when it gets released. With that out of the way, here are the requirements, my personal requirements when it comes to looking for a high yield savings account. And we're going to see how Western Alliance Bank does. In the case of Western Alliance Bank, you got to notice that this is one of the highest APYs out there at this time as of April 2024. Now, one thing to keep in mind here in this video is that the interest rate is going to change, will change at some point in the future depending on what the Federal Reserve is doing, and most of the other features should remain the same. But needless to say, this is one of the things that has sparked a lot of questions from you guys, from the viewers, asking me, hey, why isn't Western Alliance Bank being included in all these lists of best high yield savings accounts? It has one of the highest APYs out there. I could not believe it. And I don't blame you. But as you will find out here in this video, it's not all about the interest. The interest many times can be very enticing, but there are other parameters to consider. And that's exactly what we're going to be exploring in this video. So now let's look at the bonus for new clients. So if you are a new client, you're just new into the world of high yield savings accounts, or maybe you're just one of those people who is always hopping from one savings to another, just looking for the best interest. Hey, I want to do it, but if that's why you like to do it, then that's, hey, amazing for you, right? Like you're the one that has to go through all the process anyways. Right now, Western Alliance Bank does not offer a public offer when it comes to bonus for new clients for the high yield savings accounts. Sometimes the banks do offer referral bonuses for a short window, maybe for a month, maybe for 3 months. But at this time, in the public, they do not have a bonus for new high yield savings accounts. If you are looking for that, if you're looking for a very fat bonus on high yield savings accounts, the best one that I've seen so far is from SoFi, up to $325. I'm going to leave a link to that in the description if you'd like to find out more. Okay, so now let's look at another important parameter when it comes to having a high yield savings account, and that is the zero monthly fees. Now, of course, the zero monthly fees is a very important feature because we don't want any money or any payment or any dues to be eating up on our hard-earned money. In my eyes, when a bank starts charging you a monthly fee, then that's when I start backing away from that organization, right? I personally don't like that. Here's something that you may not be expecting if you compare this high yield savings account to all the other ones out there. No minimum deposit required. Generally speaking, it's a good idea to have an organization or a bank that has no minimum deposit required to open the account or to keep a monthly balance in your account. But Western Alliance Bank, you need $500 to open your account. So you can't just open it with $100. You do need at least $500. And after that, after you open your account with $500, then you do need a penny, which is might as well make it zero. I just put it here because that's what was on the website, but might as well let it be zero. Now, when it comes to the FDIC insurance and or NCUA, FDIC insurance is for commercial banks, which believe me, not all banks are FDIC insured. This is something that I've shared plenty of times here in the channel. So Western Alliance Bank is insured up to $250,000. If you are someone that is looking into more than $250,000 or $500,000 FDIC insurance, there are other, I want to call them quote unquote special banks out there that are FDIC insured and that also partner with a network of FDIC insured banks. And that's how they're able to increase how much they're able to insure your money. In the case of SoFi, for instance, they go up to $2 million. Wealthfront goes up to $8 million. And then there's another bank out there, UFB Direct, which is a complete outlier based on what I've seen so far. And they take that money all the way to $225 million. But let's be honest, most people will be okay with up to $250,000 FDIC insurance. I know that personally I would. Now, when it comes to the easy access and transfer, so if you're wondering, okay, so if I transfer money from one of my credit unions, let's say, or my Bank of America, whatever it is that you're banking, and you transfer your money to your new high yield savings account, how long does it take? Based on the website, it can take up to 5 business days. Now, based on what I've seen, 5 business days is a little long. And this is going to depend on what you are expecting. It depends on how fast you need your funds to be transferred. But from what I've seen, between 1 and 3 business days is average. It's very standard. And I also want to mention here that these numbers, 3 business days, 5 business days, they're a little bit conservative. That means that it can take a little bit less time. It's all going to depend on the history of your account, whether or not you have any red flags, whether you've had any issues with the bank in the past, or maybe if it's a weekend, if it's a holiday. So there's a lot of parameters to take into account, but they give you here the worst case scenario. That's a little long in my personal opinion, but again, personal finance is personal, right? And you may be okay with 5 business days. Now, let's talk about how easy it is to deposit your money into your Western Alliance Bank high yield savings account. Now, it's a little different than what most other banks offer when it comes to options for deposits. Now, Western Alliance Bank does offer the regular bank transfer, and that's it, believe it or not. They don't allow checks, they don't allow wires. But depending on how you look at this could be a big drawback because the only way that you can transfer money into your high yield savings from Western Alliance Bank is by having a third-party organization and then just transferring the money there. Now, if you are someone that wants to deposit checks into your account, if you want to deposit cash into your account, if you want to make a mobile deposit into your account, all those features are not available. When it comes to the withdrawal frequency limits, so that is how many times are you allowed to withdraw money from your savings account without any fees, without any charges, without any penalties. Now, this is important here because up until April 2020, there was a federal limit of 6 withdrawals for savings accounts per month. But at the time, because of what happened, the Fed said we're not going to be enforcing this regulation anymore. And now it's up to banks to decide how many times they allow their customers to take money out of their savings. So Western Alliance Bank has no limit there. They have no limit on how much money you can take out and also how many times you can take out of your high yield savings account. So that's a good feature in my personal opinion. I don't know why other banks don't have this same threshold of unlimited everything. I think it would be a way to make everybody competitive because there are certainly many organizations that do offer this type of feature. Now, when it comes to good interference, mobile app or website, it's very simple to use. They have a very professional website I was navigating when I was doing research. So it's very intuitive, it's very easy to use, and I'm sure the app is also the same way. Apps, generally speaking, they are very easy to use. Now, here's something that is big, and that is customer service. If you are a Western Alliance Bank customer that has been with them for a long time, please let us know in the comments like what your experience has been. What hasn't it been like to interact with customer service? Because I'm sure that's going to help a lot of people learn more about this organization in more detail so that way they can make the best decision for themselves. Which brings me to my next point. When it comes to Wallet Hub, reviews from customer. Wallet Hub is a third-party organization that I personally like using because people can go in there and actually give their thoughts, their opinions. And there are pros and cons with that approach like anything, but when it comes to Wallet Hub, they have a 3.2 out of 5 out of 12 reviews. I was a little taken aback by how little reviews this organization had, but it is what it is, right? Like, as expected, when you are looking at reviews, you're always going to find negative reviews and people that are sharing their stories. So one of the things that I suggest you do is going into the reviews and one by one, looking at things that people are saying, what people are experiencing. If it's something that keeps popping up and keeps showing up, people keep complaining of the same thing, then maybe there's a little bit of substance to it, right? Maybe it's just it's not an outlier. It's not a one-off thing. It's something that maybe it should be a concern and the bank needs to address it. Another thing that I personally like to look at when I'm looking at reviews is also the date of the reviews. If it's a one-star review of a very disgruntled customer and it happened 10 years ago, well, a lot of things can happen in 10 years. Maybe the bank changed management, maybe the bank changed names, maybe they improved the culture. So I like to look at reviews that are very much recent, within 3 to 6 months. So that way I can get a better understanding and a better idea on what the product is or service is actually like. Now, when it comes to establishing brand, Western Alliance Bank, which by the way, is an organization that I've only heard of a couple of months ago, was established back in 1994 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Whatever happens in Vegas, it stays in Vegas. I remember a few years ago, my girlfriend at the time and my wife now, I'm talking about them like there are two people. We went to Vegas, we went to EDC Las Vegas, we were doing pool parties and we were doing gambling for fun. If you ever have a chance to go visit it once in a lifetime, a couple of times, just like a weekend getaway, go try it. It is an amazing time to go out there, at least once in your lifetime. Before I move on from here, you might be wondering, okay, so why should I care about whether or not this is an established brand? Now, from my personal experience, and again, these are all my personal requirements that I'm walking you over, I don't like to consider organizations that are a little bit too new. I like to look at companies or organizations that have a little bit of history, that have overcome some challenges, because that just proves, at least in my eyes, it helps me know that they are somewhat robust. I wouldn't want to bank with an organization that has very crappy reviews, maybe like a 1 out of 5, and it's brand new, right? And it's offering me this insane interest rate. Like, why you? It just seems a little scammy if you have this organization that is brand new, is offering you a 10% interest rate, and they're just trying to be customers, but you don't know how it's going to perform. I've heard horrible stories from customers who get locked out of their accounts. Sometimes they say the bank stole my money. So these are very serious allegations. So I'm not saying that Western Alliance Bank did this, but if the allegations are serious, my little, how do you call them, antennas, they just go ping, 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 ping. And personally, I like to avoid those types of organizations just so that it gives me the peace of mind to be banking with somebody that is well established, even when they may not be giving me the highest interest rate. All right, so with all this being said, is the Western Alliance high yield savings account for you? Here are the pros and cons. So on the pro side, they do have absolutely no questions asked. One of the highest APY available are 5.36. They have no monthly fees. They have unlimited transfer limits on how many times you can take out of your savings and also how much you can transfer out of your savings. They also have no minimum balance other than the $500 minimum deposit required to open. They have no minimum balance every month. I mean, it is a penny, but might as well let it be zero. And also FDIC insurance of up to $250,000. So they got that going for them. Now, on the other side, we have the cons. And as I mentioned previously, this may be a pro or a con depending on how much money you have to open your savings account. But $500 minimum deposit required to open, so you can just open it with $100. Also, they have no new account bonus, no wires or checks accepted, no ATM access. Quite honestly, this is the one that shocked me the most, where they mentioned they don't accept the wires, no checks, no ATM access. Now, depending on your personality, this may be a pro or a con. Some people just like to have a savings that they just set and forget. They don't want easy access to it on purpose. just so that you don't take money out easily out of it and then spend it. Now, of course, another thing with all these online high yield savings accounts, not just Western Alliance Bank, but there's no branch access, there's online only, and that right there involves a certain level of trust that you have to develop with the organization. It's a little difficult sometimes to take your money and then put it in an online organization, and you hope that one day you are able to take it out, right? I've certainly gotten questions here from viewers like yourself asking me, man, what should I do? What bank should I choose? Like, I'm new to this whole world of online banks, and I don't know which one is for me. So by the way, if you are interested in learning more about this, if you want to talk to me about what bank is best for you, let me know in the comments. Depending on the demand, I can start offering one-on-one coaching sessions where I can just walk you through your options. So that way you can make the best decision for yourself and make decisions with confidence. All right, so now the only con that I have here for Western Alliance Bank is the fact that they do have an up to 5 business day transfer window estimated, which again is a conservative number, but the fact that it's 5 business days is a little bit too long for my liking. But again, it's just me. Personal finance is personal. You may be okay with 10 business days. Who knows? All right, so here's the question for the $1 million. And let's see, would I recommend this to my mom? I thought about this deeply. Here is the thing. If my mom is looking for a very high, maybe the highest or competitive APY interest rate, she wants to maximize the money that she has. If she wants very basic savings, set it and forget it. And also a bank that is a little bit more small business focused. I was doing a little bit of reading on this history and reviews, and people say that this is a bank that is more focused on the small business, and they happen to offer a high yield savings account. That's all cool. So if my mom is looking for that, maybe, yes, I would say, okay, this is a good option. But here's what I will also tell my mom. And this brings me to my last point here. So if a mom is looking for a motivating bonus, okay, for if she wants to maximize her new relationship with an organization, with a new bank. Now, the one that I've seen, the one that does best at this, at the bonus right now is SoFi, because they go up to $325. So, but also if a mom is looking for a checking, for ATM, maybe for investing options, if mom is looking for a hub, for a new home for her banking needs. Also, if she's going to be depositing checks, wire transfer transactions, and maybe not, she doesn't have to, but maybe she's looking for physical branches, maybe, then I would not recommend to Western Alliance Bank. So this brings me to my last point. Now, when it comes to making a decision whether or not you want to bank with an organization, one of the biggest indicators, in my personal opinion, is having the warm and fuzzy feeling with someone on trust, familiarity, comfort, or putting your money, your hard-earned income in an organization. Now, this is just me, again, based on what I'm looking for in a high-yield savings account. And Western Alliance Bank doesn't get me quite there. And the reason is because they don't accept wire transfers. They don't accept checks. They don't have ATM access. Also, there's no account bonus. There's no really motivation there. Also, the 5 business day transfer window estimated. But that's just me. Let me know in the comments if Western Alliance Bank is for you. Maybe you have been a customer of them for a long time and you've had a great experience. Then, of course, also let us know in the comments. So probably I would change this to a maybe if my mom is looking for it, not a yes. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to check out the playlist here to find out more about high yield savings accounts. Of course, don't forget to check the links in the description for some goodies that you didn't know you needed. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.